Hi, it's Corwhin, and my tomatoes are growing pretty good. I can lower the platform here for them, but I'm thinking, well, the root space is not a lot. It's a 72 cell, so it's not a lot of space. If I lower them, they're still going to keep growing, and I could bury some of that root, or some of that stems would become root, and I could give them more width this way to grow in for their roots to grow bigger. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to repot them and give them more root space. So that way, because I am right now getting them some airflow here. One, to keep the moisture off the leaves, so it's less likely to have diseases settle there. And two, to strengthen the stems. So when they get outside, they're not going to be very fragile and stressed out. So this is what I'm going to do. This video is going to be about. You can see those tomatoes there too, right up to the lights. Yeah, like I said, I could drop the platform, but they're going to just get higher and higher and not have a lot of space to be rooted in there. So I want them to be rooted in there, and that's what we're going to do, is put them in a bigger space so they can get a little healthier and hopefully not fall over when the roots, because they just don't have that space to grab onto if there is any stress, or if things fall over, or if, heaven forbid, the shelf collapses. For my supplies, I have my sowless growing medium that's mostly peat, 4-inch pots, 4-inch pot holders, holds 15. That's important. I got my stand, my table, my light. I have popsicle sticks. I'm going to need some, I do have some markers there. And then I have the plants. I brought them down. I put them on the germination chamber, which is off right now because I don't need it. And what this is going to do, you're going to see, going to go from 72 to 15 plants in a cherry area. It's going to greatly increase the amount of area that I need on the grow shelves. Anyway, these guys are bent a little because they've been going up in the lights, but you can see how small the roots are. Like, for that height, yeah, I need something more stable. Don't mind the camera angle. This is the best I can get my stand to do it. Anyway, 4-inch pot. It's going to have a lot of root space, but as you can see, very different. So what I do want that. I want the plant to grow as tall as it can, but also I can plant a tomato plant, just because it's a tomato plant, as deep as possible. So just putting some wet stuff in first. So starting with Celebrity Plus, I already got that written down. Just grab and drop. So I just kind of squeeze the tips here of the 72 tray. And all right, you can see the root mass there. That's pretty healthy. The thing about tomatoes is you see all these little hairs, and I know you probably know this already. These little hairs can become roots. All they need is to touch moisture and nutrients, and they'll develop new root hairs. So because of that, I can plant this as deep as I want to, and everything up to here, wherever I'm going to put the soil mix or the growing mix, it's going to develop new roots. So these roots are going to be low, and the thing is, this isn't going to be as leggy and fall over as easily because it's going to have a lot more grounding to it, a lot more base to it. Now, as I slide this in, I'm going to pack it in because I want no air. I want this to be as healthy as possible. So the roots are going to have to touch growing medium because air does nothing. Air doesn't hold water, doesn't hold nutrients. You don't need air. And you see it's already getting a little stressed, it's falling over. And that'll be, yeah, that's not what I want, but it is what it is. Anyway, there we go. Thing about tomatoes is they're not supposed to grow up like other plants. They're actually vines. They grow sideways. They curl around. They crawl up things. It's just for some reason we have to have them grow up, and we trellis them because of that. So they're all flopping over one another. So how do I pick which one? One that's going to be the least likely to pull on the others. And I'm lucky I got them at this rate, because when they keep getting more leaves and more branches, they will attach and grab onto one another. All right. Now, some of these you can see I've already done here. The lower leaves, really close, really close, and I don't care. These leaves are the coddle leaves. These are the first leaves that come out when the tomatoes start growing or start sprouting. They're not important. They just get things started, and now they're done. And really, I don't even need them. I can cut them off because I have all these other leaves up here, and these are leaves I want to keep because, as you can see, they're different. They have the tomato shape to them. And yeah, they're the ones going to be doing the growing and going to be turning into other branches and other leaves. One thing I should have mentioned is that sometimes when you're taking the roots out, you get a ball like that. And I know some people have read it, tear, so that way it's going to be forced to grow. I'm already ripping them out of the bottom because a lot of them are growing through the bottom. So I'm leaving that as that, and I'm hoping that the rest of it, including the sides here, have new root growth. Because sometimes what happens, you'll have the roots will grow into themselves, so grow in a certain area and be constricted, so they'll keep growing, but they'll grow into a ball. And I think these roots are young enough that that's not going to happen. So, and yeah, like I said, I have new root growth around here, and this is being torn out of the bottom because it's growing through the bottom. That'll be enough for any tearing. But yeah, I've read some people will say you got to tear the roots here and there to promote new growth. So I don't want to stress the plant out too much because I am transplanting it. And as you can see, they're already getting all floppy, and they're already stressed that it is. Just picked up another section of 72 cells. Look at the roots there. This is what you want. This is why you water from the bottom. Now you can see here I have multiples in one cell, and I'm going to have to tease them apart really carefully because I want to keep as many as I can. Anyways, these guys are indeterminate. These are sweet million. These are a cherry tomato. I'm going to grow these differently. I'm going to grow them without cages. And I have seen someone say on social media, cut the center stem, and when they have two side stems, and let the side stems grow out so that you kind of have it growing like a V, like you would a grapevine. So you'd have two of these going up a trellis. I don't know if I want to do that, but anyways, these guys are going to grow really big. So it's best to get them into a pot that's going to hold them up so they don't fall over as much. The tomatoes that are upstairs, they are doing well. I have not put them under full lighting yet. They just get whatever light comes into the room. And this guy doesn't want to stand up. Okay. All right. I don't know what else to do. I can't stake him. Oh well. Anyway. I'm giving myself 2 hours to do this, and I will do the same things I did for the tomatoes 3 days ago. I will keep them out of direct sunlight. I will water them a lot because there is so much growing medium in here that's it's not watering enough. And the thing is, I don't want to water it so much that it's just water is gonna come straight through and pool in the bottom. I don't want that, so I'm watering little by little every day. And little by little, we're getting these tomatoes done. So here we got the root ball. I don't know what root is what for which plant. Just an accident that I got two seeds in the one cell. So I'm just putting my thumbs in here, and I'm just slowly teasing it apart. I can hear it crunching, I can hear it snapping. Just repositioning myself, slowly pulling that apart.
a lot more gentle than you would with a cinnamon bun. Anyway, it is what it is, but they're going to be in a controlled environment, so it's not going to be like they're exposed to a lot of other stressors than this. So just try to bury them as deep as I can, keep them standing up, because they're missing some of the roots. But they're going to grow more roots. And it doesn't matter, I got these little cotyledon leaves there. I don't know if I said it, earlier. They don't matter. They're going to fall off. They're just the original ones from when it germinated. And ta-da, that's that. And where's the other? There it is right there. So this one, obviously, a lot smaller, weaker. It wasn't getting the same nutrients in the other one. The other one was being a bit of a bully. Or it just started earlier and had a greater advantage. Not a problem. This now will have its own, and hopefully it isn't stunted enough or slowed down enough that it won't affect it, and it'll be its own little plant. This is day 2 of doing the transplanting or repotting or putting them in the bigger pots of my tomatoes. It's been about 3 days. I have been busy, and what I've learned is that if I don't have time to do something fully, completely, partially, that's going to be, I can end in a good spot. I'm not going to continue doing that because I need to focus. I need to focus on what I'm doing. And if I suddenly have to go to work and, I can't get to a certain spot that it's reasonable, like in my work, it's not worth it. So just wait till another day, until you got more time, more concentration. You're not hurrying. So yeah, I got finally time. Sun's going down, and yeah, we're working on it. So we got working on Roma tomatoes right now. Anyway, Roma is a variety that is a paste tomato, and paste tomatoes are what you want to make sauce out of. So I haven't had a lot of success with that. I think because I put them in the wrong spot. My thing this year, or my objective this year, is to grow them where I have my other tomatoes. I'm going to have to separate them all. If I didn't say this in another video, you want to keep your tomatoes separate if you're going to save the seed. Keep them about 20 feet apart, the different varieties. That way they're not going to, or there's less of a chance of them pollinating, cross-pollinating. So tomatoes will pollinate themselves. And yeah, I really want to grow some paste tomatoes because elsewise, the tomatoes we have for pasta and all the sauces we make it here is just my leftover bush tomatoes. And they're a lot more watery, so there's a lot more boiling off you have to do, evaporating of all of that juice. So in the room that I have everything set up in, I have the grow lights still off. These are the ones from 3 days ago. These are the ones from 3 days ago. These are the new ones in here, as well as those ones, as well as those ones. This is the following day. Everyone's perked up a little. I've had to water them numerous times just because it trickles slowly. Peat's absorbent, but it takes its time. So I'm keeping the lights off. Luckily, it's all dim and dreary outside for most of the week. I've got the temperature a little lower. Because I've watered so much, the humidity is increased, so I'm going to have to lower that, open the door, whatnot. But I'm not trying to stress them anymore because if I put lights on, the roots have already been stressed. That could be too much for them trying to do a lot of photosynthesis. So I've got them away from the lights right now, having some airflow. I will raise them up eventually, be closer to the grow lights here. I've only got halfway through yesterday. I got the rest to do. That's for another day. I'm not going to have a chance to do it. But you can see everyone else. This is why I stagger planting or starting things in germination chamber, because I don't want to have to, transplant everything at once, deal with everything at once. And you can see I am going to be running out of room. I got 2 more shelves left. This will probably be 3 more shelves. Might have to move something onto the ledge there until I get another shelf in here with grow lights. Good problem to have. I'm just, yeah, just working everything, and it's just little by little when I can fit it in. And my basil's coming, but it's really, really small. Anyway, everything else is coming. This is snapdragons. I cannot believe how tiny they are. I don't usually start them myself, but I'm trying something new to expand my horizons this year and skill level. But elsewise, we have cabbage and broccoli, cabbage and broccoli, cabbage and broccoli, and then over here is kale. So this is how things are standing one day later. And it looks like everyone survived. I did snap partially one little stem because they're so fragile, but I think that one's going to survive because I think I buried it deep enough. But you can see I have all the little sticks that tell me what everything is, what the variety is, so that I know. And if I want to save seeds, I keep them together. And also for harvesting something like cherry tomatoes, that takes a lot of time. I want to have them separate so that I have them, go down the row and just do that harvesting. But this is how it looks so far. So it's not foolproof that when you transplant anything that it's going to take and work out. They can be a little too stressed. They can, somehow the water doesn't get to them, the nutrients don't get to them. But I think, I've done enough years. I don't expect any real problems. I did crack the stems of one or two, not full, all the way through crack, but just, a slight bend. But there will be able to take up the water through the stem on the other side anyways, and then heal. But this is what I do. I am going to probably work next week. Cabbage and kale look pretty big. I'll probably double them up in the containers, as I want to have as much minimum space used up here as possible in this room. A greenhouse would be great. It's just not viable right now, and this works for me. Luckily, I've scaled back on a few things, but I've also have taken on that I want to start more flowers by myself and get that skill instead of having contracted out. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope this has been a bit of an education about what I do and understanding that you need to have more space for the roots to grow than just a small little cellar pot. You got to make sure that the plant can be healthy in all aspects, not just what you can see. What you don't see is just as important. So thank you for watching, and remember, finish your vegetables, buy something local, be good to each other. We will see you next video.